watching the objects in memory video and hearing people talk about 9/11 is always a sad and tragic thing to hear about. Um, I think it was cool that, or interesting that they kept all like the objects that was in the 9/11 events, such as the papers and the dust and the steel. I thought that was, I didn't know that they have done that, so I thought that was cool and sad at the same time because if somebody sees it, they will still have that feeling of what happened to them and their family. Um, and I think I was about 6 years old when this happened, 9/11, and yeah. So is the relic that I have or memory that I have. It's not tragic or anything, but I couldn't really find anything that reminded me of tragic things that happened in my life. And I just moved, so some things got lost. But one recent thing that happened last year was that I had a son, and he's now 1 year old. So I find myself keeping old objects, such as hospital bands. This one was his, and it has the date on there of when he was born, September 20th, 2020. So that was in the first wave of the pandemic, and everything just reminds me of how hard it was. Having a newborn in the pandemic, it was very scary, and yeah, I didn't know what to expect, and it was my first time being a mom, so um, I was just learning as the days went on. It's not a dirty diaper, but it is diapers that were never used. So I kept little small clothes, and I store shoes to keep memories and to keep the smell as well because some of them still have smell to it. And it's just a little reminder that it just feels like this was just yesterday and it was just last year, but I just keep this because just for memories basically. And it was a very odd time, but it was a very beautiful time as well. Let's see. So to relate this to my culture, um I feel like the newborn clothes reminds me of fresh like a way to start over because my family has been involved in domestic violence, have history of that, and witnessing that very like early on, like since the age of 3 and 5 and up and on, is very. I can still remember everything. I remember everything. So that's part of the trauma, and I don't have anything that yeah, that could remind me of stuff like that. But it's just always in my head. So basically, the mess. And since I have a son, it just reminds me that we need more men in the family. And my family is very small. We don't have a lot of men in the family. So it's just women, and for right now, but hopefully, our family will expand. Um, since I am part of Black community, family is very important to me, and having more men in the family and having more dads um, in the family, like with my siblings, I have brothers, so they're gonna become dads. Having more men in the family will, I feel like, will make our family a little bit stronger. So, yeah. The quotes that I picked from the article. I picked Human beings have always lived in emotionally bonded large groups, such as tribes and clans. And I feel like um, when I was little, I feel like my family was big, and but as you start growing up, people start passing away, and the family gets smaller, and then people start moving away because they're getting older. Um, and that's on page 4. On page 5, some of these items, such as feathers and claws, become symbolic value not only for the physical benefits, but also able insights into why and how large group identifies as a visible force. So having objects such as feathers, it was talked about how people collect things and it can become symbolic, like feathers. Just like me collecting my newborn clothes, and I'll still do it. Um, it just gives you memories and make you feel more empowered or happy. So and it just gives remind me that I'm starting over and breaking cycles as well, especially being part of the Black community and with families. So yeah, that's my take on objects and memory.